Mark Rober.
Gosh. Ah! It's a very surreal feeling.
Universally loved for his engineering skills. Meets his storytelling abilities.
And then I took this to the police, and even with the video evidence, they said it's just not worth their time to look into.
Which marries to make amazing videos.
Feels like compressed on all sides, but it's so smooth and like slippery.
I'm here to tell you that I think Mark is sleeping on a little golden nugget, or should I say a golden walnut, of a business idea that he really should act on.
Let's get started.
If you've seen a number of Mark's videos in the past few years, then you've most likely run across these bad boys.
Look at this! These guys are basically freaking rodent-sized Simone Biles.
These delightfully cute squirrel maze videos, which have entertained tens of millions and over 100 million people according to the view count. Based on those numbers, you might think that he's milked the whole squirrel maze thing dry, but I think that there's a little more he can get out of it, and well, I mean, here it is.
Yeah, they're flexing on me for sure.
Picture this. What if Mark took the squirrel mazes that he has built, added in some interactive robotic elements that can be controlled remotely, surrounded the whole thing with cameras, and then created a website where the squirrel cam footage is live stream uploaded and where the robotic elements can be controlled remotely.
It's not only fake, but it's a scam.
So just to make it clear of what it would look like for you as the consumer, you would go to marksquirrelland.com. You would be able to see live footage of the squirrels inside of the maze that he created, and you'd be able to switch the view to different cameras as well as control those remote robotic elements that he put in there. For instance, those elements could be things such as being able to remotely raise a platform, dispense some nuts for the squirrels, or maybe even control an RC car or drone within an approved boundary. Now, to be honest, I've long been intrigued by the idea of allowing anyone on the internet to remotely control mechanisms within a controlled environment for a long time, and I am sitting on a few ideas for fun ways to implement that idea. But when I realized that Mark Rober's squirrel maze was a fantastic way to implement this idea as well, I just had to share it with you. Okay, but back to this specific idea. Obviously, this idea is technologically feasible, and honestly, with Mark's engineering skills, he could probably do most of it himself. He would probably just need a little help from a computer programmer to maybe do some of the coding with the site and everything, but who knows, maybe he's able to do that himself too. Not only does he have a head start there, but his startup costs should be negligible since he's already built many of the components he can already use. I mean, he's made multiple squirrel mazes, and he can just use some of those things he has lying around from those videos he's already done. You would just need to assemble it, add some of those remote controlled elements, set up the cameras and the site. Oh, and he'd need to promote it, but that shouldn't be too hard for a guy like Mark, considering that most of his videos get at least 15 million views on the low end. Let's talk monetization. So how could Mark make money from this? Pretty simple. I think it's obvious that with a website, he could put ads on the site. Not only could he just run regular advertisements, but since he now has products and services that he offers, such as his monthly engineering subscription box, he could put advertisements for that on the site, because generally, if you're advertising your own products and services, that's going to generate a higher return anyway than any other ads you could put on your site. But in addition to the ads, I think Mark will be able to charge people to use those interactive elements that he throws into the maze so that people can sit there and they can watch for free. But if they want to be able to raise that platform or to spin some nuts, they're going to have to pay a few bucks in order to do so. And I really think that people are going to be so intrigued by the concept that they would be willing to do that.
Only time will tell.
Okay, so time for some financial estimates. And this is going to be very rough napkin math with a lot of estimates, because that's really the best that we can do here with such a novel idea with nothing really to go off of. First off, the costs. Let's just say that Mark spends $10,000 to get this all buttoned up because he's just doing it on the cheap end and using the things that he already has. If you look at the squirrel maze video he posted 1 year ago, you'll see that it has 70 million views. Assuming that he makes a video to promote this business, let's just say that it can match those results. Internet traffic usually converts at 2 to 3%. I want to be really conservative and say maybe 1% of the people who watch that video go on over and visit the site where he has the live squirrel cam footage set up. So if that's true, then we would have 700,000 people within that year that would go visit that. Keeping with the theme of being conservative with our estimates, let's just say he throws up regular Google ads on the website, not his own ads, and he makes the estimated figure of $3 per 1,000 views. That means that the 700,000 people that came over to that site would generate about $2,100 in revenue for him. But as previously mentioned, I think the real money would be in the payments for the robotic elements. So if he's able to convert another 1% of those site visitors, so 700,000 people, 1% of those being 7,000 people, to be paying customers for those robotic elements, let's just say he averages a $3 payment for every time he charges somebody to use one of those robotic elements. 7,000 people, multiply that by the $3 a piece, and that's $21,000 of revenue from the robotic elements. Add in the ad revenue, and we have a total of $23,300 of revenue for that year. What this tells us is it could be profitable even when we're using these super conservative estimates of how it could play out. Now you may be thinking, hey, Trevor, these numbers aren't very exciting, especially for somebody like Mark who makes loads of money. And it's true with our very conservative estimates, it's not necessarily super exciting, but I think the benefits for Mark would go beyond the money with an idea like this. For one, doing something so novel like this is bound to create publicity and give more attention to him and his brand. And I also think it would resonate strongly with a good portion of his fan base, potentially even converting a lot of those fans into what we might call super fans because of how cool of an idea that they think it is that he did that. But for me, the whole point of the idea is to keep being creative and testing what is possible. When you take a great creative idea and you turn it into a profitable business, that can have the power to really change and impact the world, hopefully a positive way. That's our goal. So I'm curious, what do you think of the idea? Let me know and subscribe if you'd like to see more business ideas.